The Washington Free Beacons, Matthew Foldi. And Matthew, it's great to see you again. Thanks very much for being here. Your thoughts first on what Pompeo said about the danger that our athletes are facing right now. You heard Nancy Pelosi last week say, look, shut up and dribble to our athletes. We've got 224 U.S. athletes on the ground in communist China right now. And Pompeo is talking about the theft of their DNA.
Well, good morning, Maria. And it's important to remember that China, when we're talking about the Communist Party, it's like a modern-day Black Mirror. We reported in the Free Beacon that one of the exclusive suppliers of the Chinese Olympics is a company that was sanctioned by the Trump administration for its role in the Uyghur genocide. It's an automated translation company, iFlyTech, that is used to compile a database of dissidents in the Chinese Communist Party. So American athletes are having their genetics harvested by China. We know that. And the New York Times reported that the company is incredibly vulnerable to hacking. So their data is not secure. And the Chinese are probably going to film them the entire time, giving them an unfair competitive advantage, let alone blackmail in the future. So the Chinese Olympics are a massive propaganda victory for the Chinese Communist Party, and the Biden administration is playing into their hands. Nancy Pelosi is playing into their hands by telling Americans to, as you said, shut up and dribble. And this is an administration that surrendered Afghanistan 6 months ago. We're supposed to believe that Biden has what it takes to stand up to Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, the Ayatollahs of Iran. I'm not so confident.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely extraordinary. And we're going to speak with the former director of national intelligence, John Ratcliffe, coming up about all of these issues. But what really strikes me, Matthew, is the fact that we have not had one hearing in the House of the origins of COVID-19. And yet here we have Nancy Pelosi telling our athletes to be quiet and don't upset the ruthless government of the CCP while they're already on the ground in China. And yet she's okay coming out with this comment about the ruthless government, but she hasn't had one hearing on the origins of COVID-19 in 2 years, 900,000 Americans dead.
The premise is that it's too dangerous to protest China while in China, but should it not be safe to investigate the origins of coronavirus while you're safe in America? I have no idea why she's playing into the hands of the Chinese Communist Party like this. The House Democrats we've seen with their bills to, allegedly take on China don't even mention China in their bills designed to take on our threat posed by the Chinese Communist Party. So I think it's all a shame. I mean, is her point that Jesse Owens should have not, stood up to Hitler in the 1936 Berlin Olympics? I mean, the whole point is the justification for sending athletes amidst this incredibly weak diplomatic boycott is that they will represent America at its finest. And part of what makes us different from the Chinese communists is that we believe in free speech.
Yeah, and, we've got the Competes Act, which we're going to talk about coming up in the show, which coincidentally evolved into a climate change bill, by the way. Matthew, real quick on Russia. You say that Russia has used the Olympics as a distraction in the past. We're all wondering, is he or isn't he going to invade Ukraine? Your thoughts?
At this point, the Biden administration is seemingly set on a world record of countries lost already. Afghanistan, obviously, potentially Taiwan, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and more. So if we want to give Putin the excuse he needs to invade Ukraine, looking incredibly weak, we reported at the Free Beacon that as the Olympics are happening, the Biden administration gave a Chinese company $1.3 billion for a free COVID test regime rather than give it to American companies for these sorts of things. So Putin, as far as I'm concerned, has all the leeway that he wants. He has the smokescreen of the Olympics that, by the way, no one is even watching. It's the lowest Olympics basically since the invention of television. So yeah, I think that we are giving Putin the green light. Obviously, when it comes to energy, we are giving him a pipeline where we can't build pipelines in America under the Biden administration. And the administration has really given no strong signals that it's able to stand up to our adversaries. Obviously, it surrendered Afghanistan without a fight. And is it going to stand up to Putin in Ukraine? I don't think he's stood up to Putin in his entire, 50-year career in politics.
Yeah, Matthew, these are incredibly dangerous times right now. You are doing a great job at the Washington Free Beacon. We so appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.